and welcome to today's speed build. Today we are building a Flirty juice fizzing farm. Say that 3 times quickly. So we are in Brindleton Bay on the 40 by 40 lot. I think it's called It's a Good House lot, and it's in the town of Sable Square in Brindleton Bay. This little fizzing farm is being built for Wren and Maurice Novak. So they're a husband and wife couple. They used to live in Strangerville in the desert. So they've moved from Strangerville to start this little juice fizzing micro brewery in Brindleton Bay. Wren and Maurice are completely into juice fizzing. They not only brew the juice, but they also like to partake in tasting the juice on a regular basis. Now, for those of you who are not into juice fizzing, there are many different types of juices that can be made in The Sims, and I will put a link in the description to Carl's Sims 4 guide, and he goes into all the different types of juice fizzing there, so you can read that at your leisure. But we are looking at a Flirty juice fizz for this particular farm, and to make a Flirty fizzy juice you need pineapples, pomegranate and strawberries. So this farm, that is what it grows. So you'll see me put down some gardening patches for the pomegranate trees, the strawberry bushes and the pineapples later in the build. Now if you're interested, any fruit will make just a regular fizzy juice. Flowers will make a kombucha, and certain vegetables will make a suspicious fizz. Now the suspicious fizz will make your sim sick, literally vomit, and it's a bit gross. So that's pretty much the backstory for this particular build. I must say I did struggle with doing the roof for this particular house. I did cut out all of the footage of me stumbling through trying to actually get the roofing right. I tried so many different combinations and they all looked absolutely crap. And then it finally clicked into place, and we ended up with the roof that you see in the build now. As with most of my builds, if you've seen them, I do have lots of gardens again in this particular build. I do use a lot of the romantic garden flowers for this build, which I thought was quite fitting given Maurice and Wren make Flirty juice, so it kind of fits in with romantic garden flowers, I thought. Originally I was going to make a micro home to go with the micro brewery. Doing a micro home did not give me enough space to add in the juice fizzing machine. It's huge, although it's not as big as the cupcake machine. Anyway, I've put a shed in the back of this property which you saw me build first, and that's what houses the juice fizzing machine and also all of the crates of juice that is brewed in the still. This build did take a little bit of time to put together. I think I ended up with about 6 to 7 hours worth of footage, which I managed to cut down for this speed build. For some reason, I just struggled with a few different areas of the build. So the roof that I mentioned, and I also struggled with the floor plan a little bit, and I cut out that footage as well. I didn't want to bore you to tears with you watching me trying to figure out a floor plan for a square box. The house ends up being a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom house. The bedroom is quite spacious. It also has a laundry / mud room, and we've got the washing machine and dryer in there as well. I also added a clothesline to one of the verandas, which you would have seen me place down earlier. That's to give the Sims the option of using the clothes dryer in bad weather and also hanging on the clothesline in good weather. I was going to add a chicken coop to the build, however I decided to add a pond with fish instead. So you'll see me build the pond shortly. I have added fish and some ducks to the pond, basically so that the Sims can fish in the pond and enjoy some downtime when they're not tending to their pomegranates, their pineapples or their strawberries in their garden. The juice fizzing stuff came with the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack, so if you have that pack, I'd be interested to know if you have dabbled with the juice fizzing machine and what sort of experiences your Sims have had consuming the juice, and have you tried any of the other types of juices that you can make. I didn't realise until I started playing with the juice fizzing machine with this build, but there's actually 5 skill levels to the juice fizzing skill. I'd be very interested to know how long it would actually take a Sim, if in playing the rags to riches, as to how long it would actually take the Sim to become wealthy just by juice fizzing. If any of you have actually done that, I'd be really interested to hear in the comments how that went and how long it took your Sim to become wealthy just by juice fizzing. This side garden took so long to come together. I must have changed my mind 5 million times around what I was actually going to do with this side area space. In the end, I've put in a row of trees and then made it into one big garden. I have cut out a lot of the footage of me placing down all the plants because it did start to become quite repetitive, especially after watching me place down all of these daisies. My go-to plant for lining of paths and gardens, as you know. So if you're wondering, those different coloured pink flowers that you see scattered around everywhere, they're base game, and it's the last colour palette in the colour choices that you have. Normally I use the first colour just over and over again, and I was doing a little bit of experimenting in one of my other builds and thought the pink one looked really pretty, so I've been using that one a lot in this build. So moving on into the inside of the house now. As I mentioned earlier, I did struggle a lot with the floor plan, and I have cut out most of the backwards and forwardsing with where I was putting things. So we have a fairly basic layout for the house. It is a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 laundry house. The kitchen is quite a large kitchen, however it's not an eat-in kitchen. I struggled a lot with the kitchen. It sounds like I struggled with the whole build, but I didn't. The kitchen, I wanted to combine 2 different types of upper cabinets, but they just didn't seem to work well together, or they were different sizes, and it just looked quite higgledy-piggledy. So it did take me a while to actually work out what order I wanted them in and where I wanted them. And I do clutter up the upper kitchen cabinets just so they look a little bit more unique, so they don't look like it's the same cabinet over and over again. And I do use the red shelf quite a lot in this build, just to be able to place things on different shelves around the house. I clutter up the kitchen a little bit, probably a little bit more than what I normally do in my builds. I felt that this house needed to have more of a lived-in look, so I've added more clutter items. I've also added some hanging plants in the kitchen along the archway. I love plants, so I'm really looking forward to the new plant pack that's coming. So I'm hoping we get a whole bunch more hanging plants in that pack. I find that plants in the house just make the house feel a little bit more homey and give it a nice vibe. moving on into the dining living room area. The table that I put down is for 6 people, so that when Maurice and Wren entertain, they've got a space both inside and outside for their friends to sit and eat and do whatever Sims do. I'm not sure if you would have noticed, but I did put lights down first in this build, so I gave myself a pat on the back for that one. I had a sticky note on my computer to say put down lights, because I always seem to do lights last and it makes it very hard to see what I'm doing when there's no light. So I did put the lights down first, so I was a little bit proud of myself for that. I would like more rug choices in The Sims. I find that I'm just using the same ones over and over again, so I would like some more in that rectangle size that I have there, and in a few more different colours, but muted different colours, if that makes sense. Not the bright, vibrant, weird and wacky ones that we seem to get a lot of. Moving into the bathroom, so it's a 12 tile bathroom. It has the shower bath combo, toilet and sink, so pretty stock standard bathroom. I do clutter up the bathroom a little bit, a lot more than I normally do, although I think I would like to do a build that has a really big bathroom so I can really experiment with different sorts of decor and so forth. So we do the laundry / mudroom next, and I definitely add a lot of clutter, or what I think for myself is a lot of clutter, into this room in the shelving units. So you'll see me placing some of that clutter. I did cut out a fair bit of the footage of me struggling trying to get things on the shelf, just because of the camera angles and so forth, and the skinniness of the room. It made it difficult to see some of the objects that I was placing, so I did cut out some of that footage. I'm not sure if I've mentioned before, but I generally put one of those Christmas decoration or decoration boxes in my builds. The sim can still use the box even though it's out of reach. So they can't rummage for decorations when the box is out of reach, but you can still place decorations, take decorations down and select decorations. I like adding the decoration box to my builds because sometimes the decorations that automatically come up on the build are just horrendous, and I like to change them. So I just finished building the little kind of study office nook. The mudroom is off this little area here, so they come in from the backyard and they come into that kind of little nook area and can go into the mudroom or stay in that little study office area. So So moving on into the bedroom. The bedroom is quite spacious, and I certainly did not clutter up the bedroom. I kept it quite empty. I was happy with how the bedroom turned out. I do like the colour scheme that I ended up going with for the room. There's definitely enough room in the house if you did want to play with this build. You could certainly shrink down the main bedroom and make a kid's bedroom as well. There's definitely enough room for that if you wanted to add additional Sims or children to the family. So moving on to the outdoor area, it's a pretty basic outdoor area. We've just got the barbecue and some tables and chairs for the Sims to sit and eat on the back patio or back deck. I add a fireplace as well as a Don't Wake the Llama table. I enjoy watching the Sims play Don't Wake the Llama. They look really funny with some of the expressions that they make. It's pretty hilarious. I'm just making a little outdoor area now, and that's where the chess table is going to be. I was actually going to make this into an area for painting, and I suppose you could still add an easel if you wanted to download this from the gallery and play with the build yourself. You could certainly add an easel here if you wanted to, but I went with a chess table instead. And I end up putting some fairy lights up here as well, and it does look quite pretty at night time. It might even be a nice space to put a fire pit and some chairs rather than the chess table. So I'm just filling out some more gardens here underneath the tree, and that wraps around the whole little area here where the chess table is. I'm just putting up the fairy lights now, and it was interesting trying to get these fairy lights to line up and then to actually find that pole to hook the fairy lights into, but it did turn out quite well. I was pretty happy with how it ended up looking, and I'm just adding in all the night light now around the property. And then I'll be moving on into building the shed for the juice fizzing machine. Actually, I do the front porch first and then I go into the shed. I thought it was fitting for Wren and Maurice to have a pickup truck. I would imagine that they would load all of their cartons of juice into the back and they would go to markets or something like that to sell it. I didn't clutter up the shelving units here with any boxes of juice. However, I did do that after the build was finished. So if you download this from the gallery, you will actually get some additional boxes of juice in the shed. So we're moving on into screenshots now. Look, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this speed build. I'm thoroughly enjoying making these, so thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye for now.